Hi everyone, it's Mindy from My Creative Scoop and I'm back with another Copic tutorial for scrapbookpal.com. Today I'm using this adorable stamp set called Birthday Before and Afters, and we're not going to be using them in the magic slider. We're just going to be using them on a regular birthday card since you can't have enough of them. So I've stamped my images onto my Copic Express It blending card and stamped using my Memento black ink. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the Copic coloring, and then we will be die cutting our images to be placing on our card. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to color is this cute little birdie coming out of the box, and we're going to be giving him some little rosy cheeks. So I'm going to be using my R32, and I'm just going to go right underneath the eyes, making little dots. And then I'm going to come out a little bit more using my R30, so I'm just making those little dots a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to be using my Y28 for the shadowing onto our little chick. So right underneath the little wings, and then the part where he's in the box, we want to give that a little bit of a shadow since he's inside of it, and also underneath the little wing there along that side. And we'll give a little shadow right underneath the hat. So then we're going to take our Y26, and I'm going to come out just a little bit more. Now I don't want, these are really dark goldish colors, so I don't want them to be too overpowering against the Y21, which is going to be what we're going to be filling up the image with. So I'm just coming out a little bit more. And now I'm going to take my Y21. We're going to get a nice blend right along the edge of that Y26. And once it's nice and blended out, we'll go ahead and finish filling in our little image. Okay. So his little beak is very small, so I'm not going to go overboard coloring his little beak, so we're just going to add a little bit of Y35. Okay, so for the box we're going to be coloring it pink, so I'm going to be using R85, R83, and R81. We're going to start with the R85, and along the inside of the lid we're going to make a shadow there. All in the inside of the box is also going to be completely dark, and then going along the bottom part of the box as well. So you want to make sure you come up a little bit from where the ribbon is. And then we'll go ahead and take R83, come up a little bit more, so we're pushing some of that darker out. And it's blending out the next color, each new lighter color. Every time you use a dark color and you start to pull some of that darker color out, it goes into that lighter color, and that's what helps us to create that blend. Add a little shadow over there, and I'm going to come up the sides just a little bit more so it doesn't just cut off. It has a little bit of roundness to it. And then I'm going to take my R81. We want to get a nice blend right along the edge of that 83. And once it's nice and blended out, we can go ahead and fill in the rest of our box. Okay, so now we're going to make the little ribbon going around the box a turquoise color. So I'm going to be using BG34, BG11, and BG10. I'm going to start with my BG34, and underneath where the ribbon's curling, that's going to be completely shadowed. So, and then right along the bottom here where it's kind of curling up, it's still going underneath right there. So we want to add a little bit of a shadow right there as well. But all this part is going to be completely shadowed. And then we're going to take our BG11, and right where it dips down, we're going to just add a little bit of color here. It's going to be just a little shadowed in there, but not, we want to be able to tell the difference between this under here and then right in here. So the lightest part is going to be the very tops of those ribbons where they're curling, and we're going to fill it in with the BG10. Alright, so I'm actually going to go back with my BG34 and we're going to color the little stripes on his hat. So we'll make this first one completely colored using the BG34, and then we'll use the R83 for the next one. And let's take that Y35. And some YG61, and then we'll go ahead and take that BG34 again for the top. Okay, so now let's go ahead and color this present, but we're going to do it the opposite. So anytime when I'm picking my Copic colors, I like to grab a couple of colors, make sure that they coordinate so you can get that light to dark contrast, but then I like to kind of switch it up so that way I'm keeping that same color combination within our card. So let's go ahead and start with the BG34, and we're going to color the box BG34. This time we're going to add a little bit of a shadow underneath the lid since this one's not open. And right along the top right there since the bow is covering it. We're still going to add that shadow along the bottom. So now I'm going to take my BG11. We're going to come out a little bit more so we get a nice blend right against that BG34. And now with our BG10, we'll go ahead and get a nice blend right along the edge of that 11 and then fill in the rest of the present. So I don't like the way that that's blending, so we're going to go back and we're going to add another coat. So it's still kind of blotchy. So let's go ahead and take the BG34 again. Add those shadows back. And then we're going to take the BG11. Go over it a couple of times. Since we are using not colors in order, for example BG11 and BG34, there's a huge gap right there, but they work really well together. So, but sometimes you have to go over it a couple of times just to get those colors moving and blending together. So now I'm going to go back with my BG10, just do a couple little coats so that way I have a nice blend right along the edge. And that's better. Okay, so now we're going to take those same pink colors, the R85, R83, and R81. We're going to start with the R85 and add a little bit of a shadow at the bottom and also right underneath where the lid is, because this part of the ribbon is wrapping around the lid. And we'll add a little bit of a shadow here and then right in the center part of the bow. And we're going to add a little bit here and coming down. And we're going to add some more along the bottom here and right underneath there. And then we're going to take the R83, get a nice blend right along the edge. For the bow, you still want to make sure you leave some room for the lightest color so that way we get that really nice dark to light contrast. And then the 81, R81, we're going to go ahead and get a nice blend right along the edge of that 83, and then we'll fill it all in. Okay, now for the cake. I want the cake to have a light brownish vanilla-y color. So we're going to be using E43, E42, and E41. So notice all of these color combinations, we are only using 3 markers, and I'm not using any grays or anything. So this is really basic, simple Copic coloring. So we're going to start with the E43, and right underneath the icing, we're going to add a little bit of a shadow. And then we're going to take the E42 and we're just coming out a little bit more. And we're also going to take the E42 and go right along the bottom. So we're just going to have this little white strip right in the center. And that's what we're going to be using our E41 to fill in. Now I'm going to go back with my E43. Just so I can get a little bit more of a shadow going underneath there. And then we're going to repeat the 42. And that little strip right along the bottom. And again with the 41. Okay, so now for the icing, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make it pink because this is going to be a very girly little birthday card. So we're going to start with our R85 and we're going to go right underneath the little ribbon underneath those lines. We want to create a little bit of a shadow there. And then right where it starts to turn here, we're going to add a little bit of color on both sides. And then from the back, we're going to add a little shadow. So then we're going to take the E43 and come out a little bit more. Same thing up here, come out a little bit more. So with each new lighter color, we're filling it in a little bit more. We're pulling out the darker color and filling in a little bit more. And then we're going to take the R81, get a nice blend along that edge, and before we go ahead and just fill it all in. And the same thing up here. And the same up here. So you want to make sure you go into some of those darker colors so you can drag out that color and get that nice blend. All right. And I'm going to go back with my 83. Just in between those two colors, I feel like I need a little bit more color to pull through to get that better blend. So I always go back with one of my middle colors. And then we're going to repeat the R81 so we can go ahead and finish pulling through to create that blend to get that light to dark contrast. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and decorate. We're going to take the BG34. Whoops. I'm going to take the BG34. And I'm going to fill in almost the entire little ball that's going around there. And also coming back through the little ribbon. So right where the ball is, I'm going to come out a little bit more, leaving that center part light. So since there's not a whole lot of room here, I'm going to skip my BG11 and go straight to my BG10. Fill in the remaining area for that ribbon. That way it has a little bit of a two-tone. Then we're going to take the Y35 for our candles. I'm sorry, for the flames, not the candles. The candles we're going to make, you know what, let's make them green. So I'm going to use YG61. I'm just going to fill it all in. Alright, so now our images are ready to be die cut and placed on our card. Okay, so here is my finished card. I used the coordinating dies to the birthday before and afters and cut out all of my images, and then I placed them on a white card base and used my Calming Aqua Nuvo drops just to add a little extra confetti to my card. I hope you enjoyed this Copic marker tutorial. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.